Okay, the number of students at East High School and the number of students at Central High School over a 10-year period can be modeled by the following polynomials. And this number here, or I'm sorry, this expression here tells you, based on the year, okay, the first year here they tell us that x equals 0, meaning if we plugged in 0, anything that's got an x term will cancel out. So like this would cancel out and this would cancel out, meaning that at year 0, right at the first count, East High School had 1,200 students. And likewise, if x was 0, any term with an x in it would be multiplied by 0 and cancel out. That means at Central High School, during that first year, there were that many kids, 1,100 kids. Okay. Now, we're not going to worry about the x equals 0. That's just the general idea. And then as you increase by 1, you're plugging 1 into each, where x is everywhere. And for the second year, or the year after that, we're going to plug in a 2, and the year after that, we're going to plug in a 3, etc. Okay? So we don't have to worry about that. But what they're asking is, what polynomial combines both high schools? So essentially, what we're going to do is we're going to write down the two polynomials and we're going to add them together. So actually, I'm going to erase all of this stuff here, and I'm going to use my little slicing tool to copy this and drop it down here. Do it again. Copy this, drop it down there, and we're going to add them together. So when we sum these up, we get, well, we've got negative 11 x squareds, and then combine that with a negative 7 x squareds, and we get negative 18 x squared. Plus, how many x's? We've got 133 and 95. And I know from compatible numbers, I'm just going to show you this over here on the side. If I wanted to add 133 and 95, I can say 133 is just 128 plus 5, right? And 95 is just 100 minus 5. So I could essentially say, I'm going to take this, pair it with that to cancel out, and now I've increased 95 to 100, and I've decreased 133 to 128. I basically just shifted 5 over. So I can now do that in my head. Add 100, that's 228. So I can do this part by taking off 5 from here and putting it onto here. So then I get 228. Okay, that's all I did mental math-wise. Yep. And so 228. And what's the term? It is an x term. And then I add together, let me just get this all out of there too. 1,200 and 1,100, and I get 2,300. And that's an expression that I can use to find out for any number of years after, including year 0. From year 0 to year 10, that'll give me an accurate number for how many students in both those high schools combined.